Actually, gonna change my tactic a little bit here. Take to remember what the fuck I saw the other time in the room. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that we're gonna have one half of the raid be around the blue area, and we're gonna have one half of the raid basically on the opposite side near the purple. So half the raid is on blue side, half the raid is on purple in like a triangle from there, which means that the breath is going to happen in either of those two directions. Now, let's say she breathes blue. This pretty triangle here is going to be filled with a lot of green stuff. Anybody that feels comfortable and are fast to move, like mages, demon hunters, hunters with disengage, after the breath, should basically go stand in this area. There's lots of places where there are no greens. So you go stand in there because you have to bait her to target that same area again. If we can get her to breath the same area twice, that leaves pretty much a whole lot of safe space for the rest of the running around phase.
And how do you actually bait her to breathe at the same spot?
She will target a random person, which means that more people stand around close to the area she breathed before, the higher the chances that she will do it again.
True. But she can also do it on melees, so you know.
Yes, which means that melee should try, and whenever the breath is about to happen, they should move to the side where she's breathed. Also, because melees have a very, very fast time just running through her, that we will not get hit by the breath. Range that are standing there should be try to get as close to her as possible, so they can move out of the breath fast. If you stand in the back of the room and she breathes, you have a very long time to run. So that's how we're gonna have it. So we're gonna be split up on the two sides of the dragon, half the team on one side, half the rest of the team on the other. Now, if things fail, we will have the entire back place to be, and that is also where we should be trying to place the rod. Oh, I need to find the right marker for this one. I can take the green one.
So are you saying that whichever area doesn't get breath is left empty after the first breath?
Yes. Wait, what?
I mean, yeah, if we try to have the high mobile guys standing basically inside the rod, inside the old breath area, the rest could be hanging around the back, and we would have almost half of the area completely empty.
Okay, guys, can you see this red line here? This here?
Yes.
And it goes down here. Let's say this is the area she breathed. There's a lot of green places here, and there's a lot of open holes. So all highly mobile groups like mages, hunters that can easily disengage or blink out of it, go stands in the safe spots in here. The rest of the raid should be standing on the edge. Like, standing right next to it. Because if I'm standing here and she breathed me, most of her green stuff is gonna overlap the other green stuff. What we hope she doesn't is breath two completely opposite areas. Because then we have like half the room spreading green. The more we can overlap the breaths, the better. So, does anybody have a question how this works out?
Yes, it's Millie. Sorry, I don't understand the tactic. Where?
Okay, Haltai, can you come stand here? Haltai is a bear. He's awesome at pretending to be a boss. Okay, so Haltai, can you turn this way? Okay, so we use the same red area. This is the place she breathed. So melees are on this side DPSing her. Breath is about to happen. Melees go here.
Yes, but where do I have to place the rod? I don't get that.
Okay, that we haven't covered yet. This is purely how we are gonna try and handle the breath. Now, for the rods, when we place rod, we try and place them around the circle and the triangle. But
So 2 neat piles.
yes, so two neat piles, and then you try and place all the rod very very close to each other. I mean, if you get, let's say she breaths this area, and right after she sleeps and she wakes, or right after mind control, it's gonna be a long time since she breath, you get rod. If you can place the rod inside this area, all to you. I will say, good job.
In the breath area, you mean?
Yes. I mean, all rods, everything needs to be placed close to every, rod. All the green stuff. Don't run out in this area. It's like, oh my god, there's nothing here. I can just place my rod here and it'll be safe. That's just gonna be super annoying when we have to dodge shit.
So basically, you mean the breath don't can't come after purple and after blue for the melees. So
the breath will be on blue or purple. That's what we're aiming for. Which means that's why we are not particularly many melees today, and we have a lot of range because range has so much either. The reason why also because if we have a lot of open space and a lot of people to run around, which means less box on everybody at the same time, which means that range can actually start DPSing in phase 2 whenever they feel safe enough for it. I mean, still, the note: do not fucking DPS in phase 2. Still counts unless you are absolutely sure that no box is exploding near you.
But after the first breath, everyone, everyone, not only that split part, should go to the breath, right? Like you said, you split the raid up in 2 first.
Oh, yeah.
After the first breath, everyone goes towards that area.
Preferably, yes. Or, I mean, if we placed a lot of crap on green, like a lot of rods are placed on green, you could also move in front of that. I mean, just always try to move so the highest chance of her breathing an area with lots of green is good. We don't want her to breathe an area that hasn't been touched by green at all. We need to try and contain the green into as few areas as possible. I mean, this is going to require some practice, but it's a good plan. Also, during the first phase, basically, for most kills I've seen of this boss, it is basically like half the raid is alive in the end because, shit happens. RNG, people die. That's almost impossible not to happen on this boss. Which means that the faster you can get her pretty low, the better. Which means that in phase 2, especially the first rod, we don't stack it. Not like we did the other day where, the first 3 rods just stand and stack to 10. We will have to try and stack just before the mind control to 10, but get as much DPS in on her as we can. The lower we can bring her before the first breath, a lot easier it's going to be to kill her in time. Okay, but still, standard mechanics. Whenever you reach 10 stack of the debuff, run underneath the tank, get CC'd, and get mind controlled, and then CC'd, and then broken out. And then, as fast as you get broken out, head in the opposite direction. Head behind the dragon, because the tanks are going to explode shortly afterwards, and if everybody's low, chances are people die. I've seen that a lot. People just keep hanging around the mind control area. That is almost suicide because the tanks explode for a ton of damage.
Yes, but then people with doing stuns or whatever that you get slowed off, they are out for it then.
The main slower is Hultai. I don't know who else actually does real slows, and Hultai has No, it's not to use his trash. He just uses weight.
Yes, please.
Yes. Everything else should be fine. David, whenever the mind control is about to happen, you I don't. What's your cooldown on your solar flare interrupt silence thingy-majiggy?
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. For whenever you can, even when you're about to get mind control, cast it before. I think it's.
I need to target a person to cast it. That's the
Trust
problem.
me, there's plenty of people to target.
Yeah, well, if I get mind control at that point,
Or
I will
if
not be
anything
able to
else
cast it.
fails, you place you target
I'll
Takai
ju-
and cast it on Takai.
Well, I don't think I. 2 seconds. I'll just test out.
But it needs to be on an enemy.
Needs to be an enemy, so I can cast it on Netheria, but
Okay.
it's gonna be like straight on the.
No, that's right. Okay,
Needs
so
to be
when
an
you get
enemy
mind
player.
controlled, you can't do it, but it should be okay.
I should be able to do it every time people get mind controlled.
Yeah, but you get mind controlled too. So.
Yeah. Well, if I not get mind controlled, I can do it.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Feel free. You do not get blamed for asking a question. Mythic is not here.
Are we range starting out like going to one specific area? Are we spreading out to the two areas?
I am gonna split up the groups.
Okay, cool.
I want all melees on purple side. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4. We are gonna be stationed or preferably on purple side. And then I need to choose, and I suggest, because the purple has way less area to spread out in than blue side. I need two healers over there. I suggest Sniggles. No, Sniggles actually want you on the other side. Ospit and Acario, you're going to be on purple side healing. Sniggles, Vikoa, and Yima, you're going to be on blue side healing. Or healers, if you are free to, if you want to change differently around, just feel free to do it. I'll leave that up to you. And Yima, you, no, I just hand. Yima, try and not be too close to where the tanks are. Just try and top them off when they're about to run out. But yeah, try it. And everybody help Yima sometimes with the tanks. Okay, so melees, come and stand over here with me. So, because we're diamond team. No,
I'm the guy we had.
I'll tie your
Oh.
Okay, so I'm considering which range to use for it as well. Yeah, Salias and Niar come to purple. This should be enough split. Yeah. Okay, so this is purple team. We are basically these people over here. And I'm gonna move them around in the group.
We are the cooler group.
Everybody in Diamond team is either a tank or they are in group 1 and 2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Group 4.
Yeah, which means that Ospit and Akari, you're primarily dealing